Hello everybody and everyone, my name is Bevrijding and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. In today's video we'll be attempting the achievement Bevrijding, so let's begin, shall we? You know, for an achievement that requires us to liberate our own country after losing, I think we could do something very sensible and get rid of our army. To be fair, the main reason for this is actually to focus on our navy so we can get more ships out. Anyway, let's create an intelligence agency, always useful. For our research, we're going to start with the standard industry to start. We could do the electronics. The Netherlands is surprisingly good for air. I've seen it a few times in other places, so I'm going to try out some tactical bombers today. So we're going to get the Fokker. There we go. For the civs that we have, again, we're going to lose the continental Netherlands, so it feels like investing in it is worthless. So for now, we're going to be building actually some dockyards in the Dutch East Indies. The more dockyards and stuff we have, the better. Eventually we'll queue up things like sieves and mills, because that's also very important. But for the mills that we do have, until we get the Fokker, I think we're just going to mostly build guns. Guns. -4. Might buy some steel later. And for the dockyards we have, we're just going to build a load of subs. And we're going to put them into the Queen's fleet here, put them on max priority, so that the one bit of steel that we're buying goes for them. There we go. May as well buy for something like the Soviets so they're empowered. For focus, what we're going to do is form new government and gateway to Europe. There we go. For the navy that we do have though, it's going to be basically one long exercise forever. There we go, merge it together, give them Conrad and naval exercises. We have enough oil that we can afford this, so we're going to use it for things like naval doctrine eventually. Trade interdictions are our only choice. And we're also going to use it for boasts, such as for torpedoes like magnetic detonator, Homan torpedo, and an electric torpedo. Well, I think that's our affairs in order, pretty much, so let's go to speed 5 and begin. Here's a small one for you. You could assign one of these coastal defense ships to your pride of the fleet for more war support. Doesn't hurt, but of course if you use it, it does hurt. Why not? Maybe get a few more people to sign up for the military. We disbanded our army so we could pump out more subs. Obviously, if you have no manpower, your subs can't deploy. So the more of these the better. And it should be said, the sub that the Netherlands start with is very good. Has all the torpedoes and everything that you'd want. Right, when you get a spy, obviously choose whoever. This seducer and natural orator is pretty good. We're going to be sending them to Japan, because of course eventually Japan's going to be coming after us. Obviously it's many years away at this point, so once she reaches 100%, put her on quiet intel network so that she doesn't get caught. Or if she does get caught, let her die, I suppose. Right, let's get to Europe, and now we're going to abandon the gold standard. Now that we have our first 150 political power, we're going to hire ourselves our naval theorist. We're going to be very navally focused today, because it'll be the most that we can do, pretty much. And for the gateway for Europe decisions, don't bother with them, they're not important today. For instance, cave to the British bypasses when we're at war, and, well, unity through democracy is nice. There's no point doing any of these before war. I do think it is probably possible to do things like cave to the Germans and maintain trade neutrality, and still have fun with this, but honestly I can't be bothered, and I think it'd be more interesting to stay democratic anyway. We've also got the Fokker now, so we're going to start building them. I think we'll just focus one factory on them for now. We'll get a few out. And we might turn around our production eventually, but they're going to be a sideshow for us. With our next 250 political power, we're going to hire ourselves RSM Amsterdam. It's the only one that affects subs, so we're going to go for them. Now that we're off the gold standard, we're going to make a brief detour to obtaining foreign colonial investments. One of the more powerful things in the Netherlands focus tree are these decisions. For electronic mechanical computing, we're going to start on our naval doctrine. Trade interdiction, like I said earlier, it's the one that affects subs. We're not going to use the boost for the first one though. We're honestly going to only be going down convoy interdiction all the way down to combined operations raiding. Right, there's foreign colonial investments. Now it's time to overturn military budget charts. We're going down to naval expansion. Now of course we unlock the decision of colonial investment. In my opinion, these ones, West Indies and East Indies oil attraction, what we're going to do is we're going to do them until we get all the civs we can out of them. So for Curacao, we're going to do it only 5 times, and for the East Indies one, we're going to do it 10 times. And any of these decisions are up to you. For now, we're going to do attract foreign industry, as that offsets the crisis years. But you really don't have much that's worth using your political power for as the Netherlands, so we're going to keep up these decisions. I hired the naval guys now because they're useful for our research, so they're being kept around, but everything else, nah, we can hire them later. Oh, colonial communist, I'm not going to be using him. An anti-revolutionary, 10% political power is nice, but we actually get good amount of political power to the Netherlands because we're so stable. Right, our naval expansion is underway, and now let's continue the public works. 1 civ and a boost for industry. Very good. The crisis year's focus is to get bypassed when we capitulate, but we still have the negatives from that, I believe. So adding to it and getting rid of it is very useful. It's a very bad thing, minus 40% construction. Now we're going to prepare the Indonesian lines. Very soon will be enough for attention, I hope, to do war on pacifism. Obviously, the sooner we do that, the sooner we get rid of Sherlock Spectator of the Great War. Very bad outputs for us right now. There you go, 10% more tension. So, Germany is the greater threat. Annoyingly, just 1% off, but luckily there's a little guy down here who can help us with that. There's probably going to be 35 days until Italy does the focus of claims in Yugoslavia, which they always do, which gives us enough more tension. So we could either wait or do a focus. So we're going to appoint a new Supreme Commander. We should eventually get down to secret staff talks, because that can help us when we capitulate. Also, make sure you don't use the boost that it gives for land doctrine on anything. So we're going to start doing superior firepower now. Means we can boost down to delay and mobile defense. There we go, new Supreme Commander. There you go, there's claims in Italian territory, so it actually happens the 1st of December or so. But we're halfway through modernising our infantry equipment, so we may as well finish where we are now. War on pacifism. Right, for war on pacifism and its decisions, do anti-pacifist propaganda each time. That's one. And now it's time for some top secret staff talks. Right, with secret staff talks, we're going to finally return some of the crisis year focus. We're going to do the Mass Tunnel and then the Noord-Oostpolder. And now with the secret staff talk decisions, this is what you're going to do. Prepare the evacuation of the gold reserves. So, as it says, it gives us 100 political power and everything once we have become a government in exile. I don't know if it makes a difference how low you do it, because of course it decreases construction speed and everything. So I'm going to do it a bit later for now. Going to build mills now in the Dutch East Indies will be useful. Now that we've done the Noord-Oostpolder, actually, we are going to now focus on the Dutch East Indies. So we're going to do things like the Crown Jewel Colony, Java, Sumatra, and so on. The sooner we do them, the sooner we can continue the war in Batavia and get rid of them. If you have to prioritise whether or not to do the oil companies or war on pacifism, I would do the anti-pacifist propaganda. We need to get rid of that sooner rather than later. For the planes, if you are making any of them, you may as well just deploy them and have them continually deployed to a big air wing. So once we go to war, we can send them away. We already have 75, which is pretty good. If we had done things like more military factories, we could have gotten more, but it's not so important. And we're going to be doing curtailing and colonial autonomy as late as we can. Getting home in torpedo sometime in 1940 or so, I can live with that. Very powerful. Also, now that war on pacifism is done, we're now going to do preparing the evacuation of the gold reserves. Yep, not a good national spirit. And you could do it later, but I feel like doing it now. Just so I don't forget. Now it's time to reinforce Java and do foundations of defense. Right, there's the foundations of defense, time for Sumatra. And now the Molotov Ribbentrop pack should be firing any day now. There it is. So Danzig was 70 days away. So we need to change our fleet around. So all heavy cruisers, light cruisers and destroyers can leave this fleet. We don't need them, might not need them at all. So we're going to break them off and send them to the Dutch East Indies. Actually to the Dutch East Indies HOI4. We're sending them to port. There we go, into Java. Good amount of subs right now. Let's give Conrad some good traits. Well, I'm gonna go for Silent Hunter and Load and Drill Master. Lone Wolf or Torpedo Expert. You know what? We'll go for Torpedo Expert and then Lone Wolf when that unlocks later. We already have 60 subs, which is pretty good. Should be said though that quite a few of them are early subs and will be destroyed. That's okay. We mostly need to focus on the 1936 and above subs anyway. Well, there's Danzig War. Germany will be declaring war on us potentially within 70 days. I mean, 28 days. I have seen them declare war without Poland falling, but sometimes they declare war when Poland falls. It's all a bit random with Germany. Of course, we have our massive stockpile. We're going to make sure that's sent away, or at least not in their hands. So let's stop our exercise. That exercise has lasted 3 years. Probably the longest naval exercise in history. Right, Germany now has the war goal, and they declared war. So what we're going to do, just before joining the Britain, we are going to send Dutch East Indies all of our guns. Don't think they'll get there, but knowing what I know, we can still keep our guns without them falling into Germany's hands. There they go. Obviously, you must join the Allies, or otherwise it's game over. Next thing you must do is send your Air Force away. Same with the Navy. You know what, I'll see if we can just manage to inundate the waterlines before Germany makes it to us. Doubt it'll be of any importance, but you know what, it's an opportunity to do it. And there's the Germans, doing what the Germans do. Huh, the French are the only ones who helped us, but down we go. So, that's it. The first thing we're going to do is cancel the Lend-Lease to the Dutch East Indies, and if I've done this right, we'll get everything back. There you go. 50,000 guns for nothing. Haha! Nice. And there's why we evacuated the gold reserves, 20 legitimacy and 100 political power. So we're going straight up to war economy. If you want to use your bombs for anything, feel free, but the main thing we're going to mostly do is keep an eye on our subs, so we're going to split them into a few. 8 will do, I suppose. We'll put them on automatic reinforcement. Why is the Queen's Fleet here? Oh, it's the old Queen's Fleet, isn't it? Task Force Designer. So go into that and get rid of all of those. But automatic reinforcement is what you want, so it comes like that. You could make them 8 or 10. In fact, yeah, we'll make them 10. There we go. We now have a good amount of subs, so we're going to be convoy raiding in the North Sea, Norwegian coast, and Norwegian Sea. We're going to be avoiding the eastern North Sea for now. It usually has a lot of fighters, so that's where our bombers will be. That looks good. Right, it's more of a waiting game now, to be honest. Oh, I put them on strike force, didn't I? No. Well, our first catch of the day, some destroyers. It doesn't look like they're going to accomplish anything. Oof. Unsurprisingly, it's 1 old sub, but 2 1936 sub. Not good, not good. You'd think Britain would be able to patrol its own waters. Anyway, time to curtail colonial autonomy. Luckily, that won't be active for too long, so it's not too bad. Oh, there's the first thing our bombers actually did. They took down U-14. Very good. But somehow, Schlesien managed to shoot one plane down. Fair enough. Oh, here's Germany's pride of the fleet, actually. Keep an eye out on the air zones. If there's too many aircraft, move them away. That's also why we're not currently over Germany or Italy or anything. Italy's now in the war. Enter the Mediterranean at your own risk. The main thing that'll get us to enter there is if I think Suez is under threat, which knowing the AI is a real possibility. Right, there's continue the war in Batavia, and immediately we must expand the colonial army. Anyway, here is the army that we're going to be working with today. We're going to mostly be doing just 20 whips of support artillery. There we go. We have plenty of guns, so we're mostly going to switch to artillery. Of course, we are going to keep small amounts of production for the rest, though. And this is also why I didn't do anything with the generals. As you can see here, we get Hinter Porton, who is a logistics expert himself. Usually in this situation I'd promote Petrus or something, but today it's not necessary. So for now we're just going to send them to one of the ports and exercise them. There you go. We're now in Batavia. Oh, we took down one. We took down the Schlesien. Haha. Oh, we took down a destroyer, the Wolf. I mean, for 2 early subs, I'd say that's a fair trade. We can make Germany's life a living nightmare right now if we do it well. For buildings, I think for now we're just going to build 1 extra civ, and then we do get many bonuses like the East Indies War Machine and Colonial Shipbuilding, so we're pretty good. In fact, our previous shenanigans mean we start with 7 dockyards, which is very nice. We can reinforce our fleets. In fact, put it on Dutch Theatre 1, so they only reinforce when they need to reinforce. And with the civs and mills we now have, we're mostly going to build, like I say, artillery. Start training up a lot of units, we're going to need them. And we could jump up to limited conscription, but luckily expanding the colonial army will fill that niche for us. We're just going to mostly be spamming out units. We're going for around 48 units right now. Ooh, one of our exile leaders is an invader. That'll come in handy later. So you boys are going to go to this island. I'm not going to bother pronouncing. There we go. A lot more manpower now. Now it's time for a western capital. Horses for nothing. Nice. Looks like I was right to send these 7 units as a backup plan in El Alamein. The last thing we need is to lose Suez. More civs, I think. We actually have an okay military economy right now, I'd say. And if it gets so bad, I'm just going to preemptively improve relations with Siam and Iran. Western capital, more stuff, more stuff. Now let's get colonial shipbuilding. I'm not actually sure if limited conscription would do us anything, but you know what? As always, I'm willing to experiment. Also, for something very early on, you can now bypass Cave to the British, which you should do. We're going to do things like unity through democracy, go Britain, the Varplicht, which probably would have solved our manpower problem now that I think of it, but oh well. Not too important. Suddenly finding a lot more convoys, but that's okay. Of course, if we eliminate Germany's convoys, that means they can't trade with anyone. But how many convoys are they meant to have? Up to 900. Okay. Also now have sub 3. That's... Nah, too soon for sub 4. But sub 4, we will start making them once this one is done. Give sub 4 everything. Tubes free, engine free. Start spamming those out. This slot is for nothing. There we go. So in a few days our final sub 2, and then we'll start with sub 3s. Which should eventually replace subs that we have. Or at least supplant them. Ooh, that's a few destroyers. Did any of them get sunk by our Fokkers? Yes, a few did actually. So that was a good combined battle, I'd say. That would have been interesting to see. IRL. This was IRL. Looks like Britain's about to encircle. Yep, Britain's now encircled these units stuck in Libya. So probably been our best interest to help them. Sure, these are weak units, aren't meant for pushing, but an encircled unit's an encircled unit. East Indies war machine, by the way. Good job by Britain. I thought they were going to lose Suez, to be honest, so the fact that they haven't is very good. Since these 7 units are here, may as well use them to help Britain take Libya and maybe East Africa. Actually, if there is something you should probably focus your production on, it would probably be your bombers. You're going to lose them, quite a lot of them. We're already down some because of how we split up the bomber fleets, but you get the point. This is a very, very important friend. The UK basically wants your fleet. Say no, we will not serve under them. If you do it, it's game over. Basically, you'll have to start again. I get it, it's a bit of a historical thing, but for a player, like, why would a player ever take it? No, seriously. What well-serving Netherlands player would say, oh yes, I want to sell my navy away. We're leaving our main army behind because we're preparing to naval invade Japan in a near year's time. Hopefully China hasn't died by then, but you know, if we can naval invade Japan and get them as our puppet, that would be very useful. So we're still going to train up some more units. East Indies war machine, prepare for our return. More dockyards, more dockyards. Oh, Norway finally falls. Took them nearly a year to do it. That's a few encircled units. I'm never coming back. Alright, with the 7 units that managed to take Libya, may as well use them to support the East African campaign, which is clearly winding down, but, you know, better to help than to stand idly by. Our ships are now and always engaged, so this will be interesting. I think we've already obliterated Germany's navy at least. Yep, Germany is now down to no more than 30 ships. Italy is still a threat, but we've also pretty much neutered Italy's navy. The most they have now is some heavy cruisers. So yeah, Italy's navy has also been blown up. That's the thing with the naval game, it'll only be as fun as how much the AI it does. Good, bad, or rubbish. It's all of that. At the same time. It's the Admiral Spear. We're losing a lot of subs with this, so that's the fault with always engaged that I'm trying to show. Sure, we took down some, but at what cost? 6 subs. Probably turn it off, actually. Focus now, like I said, we're going to do things like the Varplicht and go with Britain. Eventually, things like the 4th Ally is probably where we should aim for. Go with Britain, bypass, now let's replace the defeatist government. Finally, we'll get rid of one of the worst leaders in HOI4. I know someone commented that technically Greece's starting leader is worse, but you can get rid of him in 105 days. But I think Dirk is rubbish. I'm going for cryptology on Italy because, well, why not? Right, Japan has declared war on the Philippines, meaning they're going to be declaring war on us in 70 days. So what we're going to be doing is prepare. So we're going to activate our spies. This woman has stayed in Japan for 5 years undetected. Pretty good. But also we need our fleet now. Fleet, stop all orders, and send it somewhere into like the Java Sea. There we go. It's now time also to plan some naval invasions. We're going to hit a lot of Japanese ports, and so the idea will be to eventually hit Japan's victory points and take them as our own puppet. Because if we can get Japan as our own puppet, that would be very useful. At the very worst, we'll want to just knock out Japan. Right, let's plan our naval invasion. We're going to go 2 by 2, pretty much. Or 1 by 1, actually. We only hit a few little things. Like, we'll have a few units for Nagasaki, as that's important as a victory point, but most other tiles will hit as just 1 unit, like so. And there you go, these are what our naval invasions will look like. Big, long, and will take a lot of supremacy, but the US is on its way, so no matter so. If you're wondering also why we're not taking Tokyo directly, is we need war score to take Japan as our puppet. So we're going to mostly take Kyushu, Shikoku, and so on. Up to Nagoya, pretty much. In fact, I know that we're hitting every tile of Shikoku because it has no ports. Japan is pretty much all in China right now, so we're pretty good. Right, we're going to have them on Strike Force, specifically Strike Force in the sea zones that we need. So hopefully our naval invasions will leave without delay. May as well use this tiny little fleet of ours down here in the Java Sea and whatever, so Japan doesn't get any supremacy off us. Did Conrad level up? No, he's close. Of course, if you wanted to, you could just have a ball destroying Japan's fleet and convoys, but to me, that's not worth it in the end. There it is. War. Right, our supremacy is unsurprisingly taking a dip. Hopefully, it'll come around. Yep, got 1 supremacy. They've left, but what about... Yep, that's not good. Yes, come in, America. I mean, we can work with just 1 naval invasion, but of course having so many does help our cause. There's the end of Japan, and do we get them as our puppet? Yes, we do. You might think, no, very expensive. Well, here's the thing. Take all states, untake the cheapest one, and there you go. Wait, I didn't even do it properly. Right, untake everything. Untake the cheapest state, which is Iwo Jima, and now supervised state, which counts as a puppet, and untake the rest. There you go. That's the only way we're getting Japan as our puppet. China, unsurprisingly, has a lot of war score. I think China's stopped the peace deal, so we don't... Yeah, there's the end of the peace deal for Japan. Annoying that we didn't even get Indochina, but... Oh well, what can you do sometimes? That's just the way it be. But now, the Netherlands has a puppet in the form of the state of Japan. Very good. If you really wanted to, you could now make your units only Japanese, so you don't have to waste manpower. I'll leave it up to you to decide that. But now we're going to send our units back to Europe. Our next stage is taking down Italy. We're going to attack the soft underbelly of Europe. Palermo will just be a nice staging ground and a good place to start. And there, the invasion of Sicily in 2 weeks' time. Actually 2 days' time if we want it to be, but may as well gain our org first. Funny thing is, if we don't actually... the longer this war goes on, it means we can actually do focuses like command, chief of staff, but it's completely arbitrary, isn't it? The sooner we finish the war, the sooner we can get our achievement. Right, time to invade Sicily. 16 units, it's on. And there we go, Sicily falls without a fight. Right, we're going to... From Henry Winckelmann's units, we're going to send 1 unit to defend the transfer of the island. The strait, I should say. But now we're going to get ready for our big naval invasion. We're going to hit every victory point of Italy that we can. Some ports are defended, some are not. So we're going to... Some naval invasions will have 3 units, like the one in Rome, but the one in Anzio will have just 2. Same with the port next to Rome. But like I said, the general idea is to hit everything, and so Italy dies. If Italy is knocked out, we have a very clear road into Italy and Germany. Hell, Vichy hasn't even been declared on yet. And of course, our VPs like Florence are inland, so we'll just have some units that just take no port at all, or just are there to help another naval invasion. Like this invasion here is to cut off any Italians who try to smack a port of us. We're only taking Italy's core victory points because those are the only ones that count. Right, here's our big naval invasion. On top of every Italian VP. We'll get there, get an org, and then it'll be time. Right, let's do this. Dual naval invasions. Look at that. All the lines over. We also have Italy's cipher broken, so we will use those bonuses along with things like force attack. All my favourite things. Force attack. And there goes Italy. Worked out exactly like I planned. Nice. Dutch Netherlands now. Right, Vichy's not in the war, so we're going to have to take up defensive positions on the German border until the Allies can reinforce. Which is fine by me, to be honest. Soviets have held on, and Romania is actually at the point of capitulating, and yes, we are now a major. Good, 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 good. Everyone now recognises the strength of Orange. Soviets have held on relatively well, especially for them. You know what, I should just justify Vichy myself. The sooner Vichy's in the war, the actual better for all of us. No, we've given the Allies the best that we can. It's a mountain with level 2 forts. At the very least, it'll give them time if Germany tries to push, and Romania is down for the count. Soviets are now in Bulgaria, so I don't think there'll be a fatherland front today. Good. Italy didn't even take Savoy or Corsica, so I guess that's a little better for France, but they're still going to lose everything. Mark my words. Mark my words. Probably be the most bloody part of all. You know what, I think it's time for us to get some slightly better units. I know people say you shouldn't really use them anymore, and I agree. So I'm only going to make a, what would you call this, a 9-1? Yeah, something like that. It's a variant of the unit we usually use in Spanish Civil War runs. Unit 7, change over. Oh, let's get some new icons in here. There, that makes them a lot easier to distinguish from each other. Luckily, we still have friends in Iraq and Siam who can help us with the artillery problem. Oh yes, these 2 American garrison units are very good. Look at that. That is not a bad division. I think it's based on the US's National Guard division. So you may as well send them into battle. Oh yes, for garrisons you might want to make use of local autonomy as it increases compliance. Right, let's open up the Vichy front. Vichy joins Axis. There we go. Remember, Savoy is mountainous and hilly, so it won't be the easiest to push through. You might want to push on like Cautious Or just normal. Remember, infantry suck for this. See? Right, force attack. Time for you to come out. Guess we're not going to be using these ones very often, but these are things you can do, like Radio Aranya, air squadrons, infantry equipment. I mean, use them if you want. Let's do Radio Aranya at least once or twice. Not too many focuses we can do, but well, that are worth it, I should say. There are plenty of focuses. Honestly, the supply is so bad, I think I'll just do DD myself. I could go for the Continental Netherlands and get Bevrijding almost immediately, but there's no fun in that. Of course, at the moment I abandon the front is when the AI decides now is a glorious time to start attacking. Typical. Time for Operation Brave, bold and early. Right, we're in the Continental Netherlands now. So, if you want to do Liberation, which gives you the achievement, we have to control literally every tile. So we'll work on the coast first. Looks like Germany is in some collapse, which is good. We're about to clear up Brittany, which is even better. Ironically, one of the few things left is Paris. Right, Liberation is now available. Let's do it. It might get cancelled, but you never know. Now's our chance. Looks like Germany has stretched to the limit. Probably went all in on the Soviet Union. And there it is, Liberation. We have technically done it. We have capitulated, and we have come back. You know what, we still got a war to finish up. But hey, if it goes badly, we got this very nice national spirit for defense. Right, our main goal now will be encirclements and destroying German units and pushing on. Look for any units like this with the yellow bar low. That is a sign of low equipment. Those will be the ones you should push out the way. If not, just find units like this Hungarian one on its own and push it away. Warsaw's almost free. I doubt it. Oh no, Warsaw's going to be freed before war's end. That's uncommon. Oh no, never mind. There's the end of the war. Well, this is going to be interesting. We can actually take some colonies and stuff. There we go. Treaty of Vienna. Thanks, Britain. I wanted a nice whole Albania. Germany's kept everything, so nothing's changed, and I mean that. The event for German cooperation might still fire as well. So the Comintern now looks like this. Well, I guess Bulgaria got away with it. We now have Dutch North Africa in just this one bloody state. We managed to gain Ethiopia and Somalia. I guess that's nice. Britain took what Britain took. I don't know why the AI is so infused with this. Romania? Someone's still at war. Oh, I know. Slovakia's gotten away with it. Right, Slovakia. You know the rules. It's time you to die. Don't know how Joseph Tiso managed to pull this one off, but whatever, he didn't pull it off for long. Right, it looks like... Oh, I've got to pass a lot of times. Right, supervised state, there we go. One more puppet to add to my collection. Slovak Republic. Don't know who just joined the Allies. Nice. Generic code leader portrait. Now we have Czechoslovakia with a Slovak Republic, a Germany with most of its cores. It's all a bit weird. I mean, thanks Allies for... I was trying to be nice and try and create some nice things, but no, you just had to take everything because you're greedy hogs. I still legit don't know why the Ultra Conference didn't fire. Oh well, this was a pretty fun bevrijding. A very quick one, all things considered. It took us 4 years. It could take a lot longer, definitely. Sure. But yes, I think that's it. There's not much left in our focus tree. I do actually like the Dutch focus tree from Man the Guns. It's pretty in-depth for what you'd want to do. Gives you a lot of options. Plenty of things to do. Admittedly, we are locked out of the free aluminium unless I cause World War Bruh, which the Soviets will definitely do. That'll be a very bloody war, I can tell you, when World War III comes around. But oh well. I don't think I'll be around long enough for that. At least Iceland got away with it. Thanks for your manpower. And there go the Olympics, because the world's now at peace. But yes, I thank you for watching this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Leave any suggestions in the comments below for future video ideas. Always looking for new video ideas. But till next time, everybody, this has been me, Bubble Zest, from the most confusing timeline. Pretty much. Good. Bye.